Now we are moving towards types of budget. So first type of budget is zero-based budget. So zero-based budgeting, in short form popularly known as ZBB. Have you ever heard about zero-based budget? You understand this term base? Base year, base of everything. Now, I'll ask you one simple example. Suppose, for example, next year in the election, you all become member of parliament. And for MGNREGA, that is Manrega, you have to allocate funds for 2019 year. Now what you will do? Suppose in this year I've given this much amount. Next year government allocated this much. Next year 54,000 crore. Now in 2019, whenever you are sitting in parliament, what will you do? How much amount you will allocate in 2019? Any guess? बताओ अर्जुन, कितना दोगे मनरेगा? बताओ बताओ कुछ. अरे बिडिंग है ना, आंसर नहीं है इसका कोई करेक्ट. ठीक है, आप बताओ क्या करें. So obviously you will give 54 or more. Simple answer is. So you will, suppose you will give 57,000 crore. Just seeing the trend. That's what is happening in the Indian economy. Now according to this concept was given by one economist, Peter Fire. Okay. So he gave this concept of zero-based budgeting in the year 1973. Jimmy Carter, do you know Jimmy Carter? Heard about Jimmy Carter? US President. So the then governor of Georgia, when he was the governor of Georgia, he implemented zero-based budgeting for that particular state of Georgia. Later on, when he became President of the United States in the year 1977 to 1981, he adopted this pattern on a nationwide. So for whole US, he adopted zero-based budgeting. In India, this concept adopted in the year 2005-06. Under this concept, whenever you are allocating these funds, they will not give you the previous year data. It means there is no data. On the next year, you have to give certain kind of money. Then what you will do? This is the first time. Analysis. You will see that if whatever the allocated in the previous years fully utilized or not. If utilized, what is the trend of that utilization? Whenever you will see, like whenever you will make a calendar from April to March, here comes January, here comes maybe October. If you see the trend of expenditure, suppose we make one graph, expenditure will goes like this. Now you know why? Because while you are approaching the end of the year, particular scheme, we will just spend the funds without looking in, because funds will go back to the treasury, and next year if you submit unutilized fund, next year they will allocate less. So that is how authorities spend more amounts during the later half of the fiscal year. So just to reduce this wasteful expenditure, this concept is very, very helpful. आई बात समझ में सबको आई? So to reduce this, it means whenever you will analyze the average of this particular expenditure, this will come like this. This is the average, approximately. So we'll see that this allocation is required for this particular project. So we'll give average amount. You will make research and development of how these funds are allocated, what are the results of these allocation of funds, etc. ठीक है, आया समझ में? So that is why this concept, it means your base is 0. You cannot refer to any amount. So you write this. Zero based budgeting is the concept given by Peter Fire. Is the concept given by Peter Fire in the year 1973. In the year 1973. First stop. Jimmy Carter, the then governor of Georgia, adopted the then governor of Georgia adopted this pattern of budgeting. Full stop. Under this concept, there is a zero-based concept. Under this, there is a zero-based concept where funds are allocated, without the reference of the previous allocations, of the funds. It means the base is 0. Full stop. Now for the new allocation, funds will be provided on the basis of its utilization. Done? Any doubt? We have written everything. If you want to write this particular box, इससे आपको याद आ जाएगा what's the meaning.
So this type of budgets are under the expenditure column of the.
No, these are type of the techniques actually. These are technique of the budgets. So while making budget, you can adopt these techniques.
So in the flowchart we have made.
No. In the expenditure part, the government expenditure, because obviously this affects the government expenditure. That is why I have divided that. That is for educational purpose actually, government expenditure. That flowchart I have divided just to teach you well. आप लिख सकते हो, ऐसा गलत नहीं है उसमें कुछ भी. जस्ट फॉर एकेडमिक पर्पज आई हैव डिवाइडेड थिंग्स. आपको क्लियर रहेगा ना कि कहाँ क्या आता है. बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इफ यू थिंक, यू रिमेंबर ऑलवेज अ ग्राफिक, वट एवर ग्राफिक इन योर माइंड. सो आपने देखा होगा वट एवर इंपॉर्टेंट इट इज, आई विल मेक अ फ्लो चार्ट. फ्लो चार्ट से आपके माइंड में रहता है. लाइक यू रिमेंबर द फ्लो चार्ट ऑफ BOP, हेयर करंट अकाउंट, थोड़ा माइंड में एक पिक्चर रहता है. घर जाके आपने बनाया था, मैंने बोला था आपको एक बार और बना लेना A4 साइज शीट पे, और उसको कहीं चिपका लें. 3-4 ही फ्लो चार्ट हैं, उसमें आपका PTO क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा. ऑल आर इंटर रिलेटेड. ठीक है, डन. नेक्स्ट इज योर आउटकम बजट. But these budgets are affecting the allocation. So that is why we are studying in expenditure. So this is, second one is your outcome budgeting. Now just understand, outcome budgeting in simple sense, you are allocating funds next year just by seeing the outcome of that particular scheme in the last allocation. Suppose for example, we take like, we are allocating 1,000 crore for making schools in village areas. So in a particular village, ABC, you have make one school. By establishing this school, it means you require 1,000 crore to build this world-class school. By spending this much amount of money making this one school, what will be the outcome on the local economy? Local economy here, education is particularly related to human capital. So here, outcome first, the most important outcome is literacy rate. So if after establishment of this particular school, what is the improvement in literacy rate? That is what we call outcome budgeting. So by seeing the outcome, next year you will make another school and you will allocate these funds. Like on the same scenario, you make one hospital and after allocating some funds to build that hospital and by providing facilities from world-class doctors, you will see that what will be the reduction in the diseases, frequency of diseases, what will be the reduction in infant mortality rate, maternal mortality rate. These are outcomes. So on the basis of these outcomes, so now you remember Rangarajan said that budget should be based on outcome, not on input. Here this is input, 1,000 crore. Outcome is literacy rate. Outcome is health statistics, like mortality rates. Getting my point? Simple enough. This is the part of performance-based budgeting. There is one concept called performance-based budgeting. But for a UPSC perspective, under it, outcome budget is the most important. So right. Under outcome budget, allocation of funds based on the outcomes achieved by a particular fund allocated for a particular scheme. ठीक है, full stop. Shall I dictate one example? Yes, ठीक है, you're right. Suppose, for example, government allocates 100 crore to make a world-class school in a rural area. Then the next year, funds will be allocated on the basis of outcome, that is how much increment in the literacy rate experienced by that particular village. So here your literacy is outcome. On the same side, health, you can also write mortality. If you want another things, like if you are building road, so if you are able to reduce the travel time, that is also outcome. Reducing a travel time is very, very important, especially for transportation of goods. You are taking vegetables from one place to another. Transportation time should be less. So travel time should be less. यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे आपने देखा है, उसके बाद से बनने से, if you want to go from Delhi to Lucknow, hassle free travel, 6-lane road. ठीक है.
So based on the outcome, the next year how they will increase the budget or what will?
It depends. If there is an improvement in literacy rate in the next village, they will also allocate 1,000 crore.
In the next.
Next village, Suppose, for example, this schools requires 10 more crore. That is also depends on the literacy rate. Like if they want to hire some world-class teachers, they have to pay salary. So government will allocate more funds to improve that standard of particular college or a particular school.
Is India following this kind of policy?
Yes, India is following.
If there is no outcome,
Since 2006.
if there is no desired outcome, then
Then obviously cut short, they will cut short the fund. आपने देखा होगा ना कट शॉर्ट होता है बजट में. They will not allocate. Manrega is the best example. On the basis of the outcome, government is allocating higher and higher funds. Like in Manrega is a successful program.
So Ganga cleaning is going on from
क्या?
1985. Cleaning Ganga program like 1985.
Clean हो रही है but at a slower pace.
काफी slow मतलब clean पर वो ये नहीं हुआ था.
तो अब वो उनका रिसर्च है ना. We cannot do anything. But India is following. That's what my purpose to tell you. अब वो कैसे follow कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं? How can I tell? Because it's all about implementation. It's never about policy. Here I am teaching you policy. Again and again I am repeating. Whenever I'll teach agriculture, you will realize भोपाल में भी हुआ था. There were some students. वो पहले भी पढ़े हुए राशिद सर से, तो they know a lot of things. तो प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, one of the controversial scheme. So बहुत बहस हो रही थी. So I gave example of Tamil Nadu farmers protesting here in Delhi. पता है आपको 2 साल से हो रहा है. तो ये सारी चीज़ें. तो whenever you will discuss the implications of प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना या other schemes, you will find discrepancies. But it is all about concept. In examination, they will ask about policy. They will never ask about policy implications or its implementation process. If they will ask in the form of critically analyze. Then you have to give certain kind of negative points as well. But you have to end at a positive note or an optimistic note. Because policies are all good. आप देखो प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, it's a good policy. Farmers are paying only 2% interest. वो अपन पढ़ेंगे अभी का. So it means if the EMI is 10,000 rupees, farmers are paying only 200. Remaining 9,800 is paid by the government. अब गवर्नमेंट उसमें पे नहीं करे, इसमें फार्मर की क्या मिस्टेक है, उसमें पॉलिसी की क्या मिस्टेक है? गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? ठीक है. सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग इनटू एग्रीकल्चर. लास्ट यू राइट लास्ट हेडिंग अंडर टैक्सेशन, जेंडर बजटिंग. एनी आइडिया, एनी डेफिनेशन? और इन अ सिंपल वर्ड you want to define what is gender budgeting? So you write it is a situation where in the budget making process, government keeps in mind the gender sensitivity of a particular policy. Keeps in mind a gender sensitivity of a particular policy. ठीक है. So it means by keeping gender sensitivity. Best example, Manrega. 33% the employment should give to women. That is by keeping gender sensitivity in the form of employment. Government is making policies. This is what we call gender budgeting. Getting my point? Now there are, obviously you will say that almost 50% are man and woman. Why? Then why 33%? But whenever we take about LFPR, labor force participation rate, so the woman contribution is very less. So according to labor contribution, 33% is higher, on a higher side for the woman. So by keeping gender sensitivity to the particular scheme, Like for example, government is thinking about some education scheme related to education, health, etc. What will be the effect on women? That is what we call gender budgeting. So by keeping in mind the gender sensitivity, and if government is making budget, this is called gender budgeting. Okay. This concept was first introduced, you right? This concept was first introduced in the year 1984. In the year 1984. By which country? Any guess? By Australia. By Australia. Full stop. India adopted gender budgeting. India adopted gender budgeting in 2004. In 2004. Full stop. So that's the end of this module. From the next class onwards, we will start agriculture. So please do not miss the class, any of the class of agriculture, because I'll tell you, there are forward and backward linkages of agriculture. Like for example, if agriculture is there, backward linkages like seeds, fertilizer, inputs, etc. Forward linkages like agriculture marketing. So I'll start from backward linkages and connect all the agriculture towards the later half of the. So if you will miss any of the class, you will not get anything. Okay, thank you so much.